Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and today we're talking about how to actually be happy, being independent, and being single. Now, it doesn't actually have to mean that, look, this episode's only for people who are single. I want you to pay close attention because this is going to be important even if you are in a relationship. So if you want to be able to learn how to become more independent as a person, in other words, nice, secure, strong, self-certain, confident, to be able to express yourself, to enjoy your own company, to do life almost alone in many ways, but in good ways, where it doesn't have to feel lonely, we could actually feel very, very empowered. This episode is going to be something that I think you will find too, very interesting. But before that, I want to just kind of put out this message ever so quickly. It really means that you're supporting the show when we do things like this. You can always turn it down low, you can always turn it up if you want. But by listening to this, it just means you are supporting the show in the most wonderful way, and I appreciate you for that. And thank you. And I'll speak to you after this. Are you ready to transform your life in the most amazing way? If so, go ahead and download my free Hypnosis app, where you can listen to hundreds of free coaching and hypnosis audios at your convenience on your phone. Create your own hypnosis sessions. That's right, all custom and tailored to your needs. Listen to hundreds of hypnosis sessions. Truly transformational, where you can transform in the day, and also, of course, you can transform as you go to sleep by toggling over the sunshine to the moon, and it will guide you off to sleep effortlessly. And of course, please go ahead and share the love and rate and review the app, because it just means we can help and support more people in the world, and we need it so much right now. You make the difference by leaving a review. Just go to your app store, type in Hypnosis with Joseph Clough, and leave your review. I appreciate you, and thank you for listening to this message. So with that, thank you for listening to that message. It just means we are growing the show, supporting the show in every single way. But getting back to the subject at hand, this is all about how to actually be happy being single and independent. Or let's just say, if you're not single, you're in a relationship, it's going to be vital, because you don't want to have to be reliant on someone else to be happy. External validation or needing people's company is not, in my opinion, a healthy thing. Is it good to have those connections? Absolutely. But we shouldn't be overly reliant in making that a part of our life. So when it comes to being happy, being single or in a relationship, but also wanting to be independent, it's something that I know very, very well. Like, I'm a very independent person. I'm a single person. And over the last couple of years, I love it. I thrive in it. I actually enjoy it. I am comfortable and I'm at peace. And it's not lonely. It's actually something that I find very sacred. Not to say future relationships won't be there. All I'm saying is, we shouldn't have to be reliant on someone else or other people, friends, family, to feel good about ourselves. We want to be able to embrace this, to be able to understand who we are, because doing life alone can be pretty scary, right? Sometimes we have anxiety, sometimes we have fears, sometimes we have doubts, sometimes we just feel like a little bit lost, a little bit lonely. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, you can go ahead and enjoy this time. You see, I've always found being single or independent something very, very important. So I'll break it down for those in a relationship. In relationships that I've been in the past, I think it's been very, very healthy to have that level of independence where you get to discover more about yourself, where you have that sacred time to be able to adjust yourself, to feel good, to learn, to grow, to focus on the inside world of you in order to have those great connections with those in your life, whether it be in a relationship or whether it be with friends, family, and all those things. But also, if you are single, it is the perfect time to be able to make a change. You see, when we are not with someone and we're doing life independently and so-called alone, this is an opportunity to grow. There's an opportunity to go on the inside and think, am I where I want to be? Do I have the psychology that I'd really like right now? Do I have the drive, the motivation, or am I experiencing certain conflicts that are getting in the way? You see, it's very hard to sometimes do that when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, we can substitute what we don't have by getting someone else into our life. Now, going back very quickly, if you're in a relationship, this is what I used to do. I used to spend adequate time by myself, go out to dinner by myself, have a pen and paper, and start to write my thoughts for the week, my goals and my dreams. What am I going through? What kind of beliefs am I having? What was a consistent thought that I was having that day or that week that I need to reflect upon and take action upon? That is something that I think is vital in every relationship, because many people feel, a little bit nervous going out by themselves and taking the time not only to be by themselves, because that can be, some people think it's kind of weird going to a restaurant by yourself. People may judge you, which they won't. But on top of that, to be able to really look in the mirror and go, look, what is happening in my life right now? Am I where I want to be? Am I the person? Am I showing up for my partner? Am I showing up for my children? Am I doing this in my career or my business? And if we are being single and independent, this is the time where you get to learn about yourself. Because it may be fearful doing things alone. It may be hard when you've got everything to do. And if it is, make sure you carve out time for yourself to really focus upon yourself, to begin to meditate, to do hypnosis, to journal, to be able to get your goals right, to be able to really think of this as an opportunity to grow. There's an opportunity to get your house in order. And by your house, I don't just mean the typical way of what that meaning means, but I mean the house of your mind, because we house many beliefs, we house thoughts, feelings, our past experiences, all of those things. We start to understand more about ourselves when we only have ourselves in our experience being independent. It is so, so, so important. You get to learn and discover more about yourself. And so on, you actually find yourself knowing how powerful you can be. You see, I think resiliency is so, so important as a skill to have in a relationship or out of a relationship. You get to see and experience how powerful you are. And it's hard in the beginning. There's things to do. I know once I've exited my relationship and then become this independent person, there's things I had to do which were once shared in a relationship. But once I discovered these things I had to do, I was like, wow, now I'm in control. I have the freedom to live the life that I want, to be able to do the things I want, but also to get control on the logistical things. Is an important trait that builds character. You see, if you're, let's just say, if you're not in a relationship, and in the past maybe you've been in a relationship, but you weren't your best self, you maybe had some baggage, we know that that can bleed into relationships. We know that it can have an effect. Maybe we choose the wrong person. Maybe people try to prey upon us, say like the narcissist of the world, because we aren't that powerful within ourselves and we are vulnerable. Instead, once you become more focused on who you are, once you consider you as a person, your identity, and you start to build up that resiliency of how powerful you are. It means the challenges that are coming your way, you can adapt to, you can grow to, you can begin to take control. And after a while, remember this, although everything was once new, you didn't know what you didn't know, and then you began to discover doing certain things. You become accustomed to it. You start to recognize that actually, I now know how to do this. So as you become, say, an independent person, it's an opportunity to go, yeah, this is all new to me, but soon, just like everything out in my past, that was once new to me as well. But after a while, that became a staple idea of what I do. It became a habit, it became an experience. You acquired the skills and the mindsets to be able to just do it. Whether it be paying your bills for the very first time, whether it be mortgages or rent or grocery shopping, all those things. After a while, it becomes more simple. So if you are fearful or worried about doing life alone because of all the things you've got to do, I want you to think about these 3 words. I was just trying to calculate those words in my mind right there. But actually I'm going to make it 2, just to make it really simple. Be gentle. That's it. If you're going to do 3, be gentle. 4, on yourself, right? That's what we've got to do. That's me doing my maths when I'm trying to speak at the same time. But you've got to be gentle upon yourself in any time of change. Recognize it does take time to acquire the skills, or more importantly, the experience to take on new things. But by being gentle on yourself, you're also giving yourself permission to reflect that there was many things in the past that you weren't very good at. Things that were a part of you which were very, very new, but you managed to get a handle on it. It takes time, but you did it. And if you've done it in the past, you're going to be able to do it for all the future things. And as I said, if you're in a relationship, or if you've got that total independence, use the independence to be reflective on what is really happening in your life. It's a perfect time. Even in a relationship, carve out that time, create independence within the relationship, and that means you can grow as a person. I remember, and I think I may or may not have mentioned this in a previous episode, but my father used to have this quiet time when we were kids. And that just meant he was meditating, he was writing his ideas. I think it was like 7 p.m. most evenings. But we all knew that was his time. He had the boundaries there. He let us know. And we were at peace with it because we knew that. So even in a relationship or in a family situation, you want to make sure that you can carve out that time for your development. For when you do, you are able to show up for those in your life more than ever before. And on top of that, if you are independent, you do have the time to do the work. Do the work now. So that means as you go off in the future, you're able to experience life in a more powerful way, in a way that you're in control, because you have the psychology and the physiology of excellence. You have the psychology and physiology of being certain within yourself, where you feel empowered within the challenge. By being gentle, but also taking action and taking that time, you can see those as journeys. You can see those as challenges that you're about to grow from. You don't have to see them as lack. Usually when we think of people being single, it can have those connotations of being alone and sad. No, embrace it. Go, this is where I get to shine. This is where I get to take a look at myself and see where I am in life and what I would like to do, because no one else is there to be able to fill up that time. We don't want to fill up our time with other people just for the sake of it. You want to be able to look in the mirror and go, look, what's really happening here? What do I have to do? What do I want to experience? Who do I want to become? Maybe in the future there will be a relationship, but may as well get yourself in the right place, the right mindset, the right emotional, physical, and even spiritual well-being, so when that person shows up, you are at your best. I love the quietness of my own space. I love it. I thrive upon it. I utilize it as sacred. So when you're in those times of so-called loneliness, allow it to be a sacred moment. It's all about reframing the situation, reframing the meaning or the label of what we've been putting on that alone time, on that independent time. It is a time where you get to grow. It's a time where you get to discover more about yourself than ever before, in or out of a relationship. Like I said, carving out that time for you in a relationship should be exciting, where you get to really invest within yourself. Could be money, but mainly time. In fact, when people join my program, which there is an investment, we decide what is the time of the day, time of the week, or time of the day, the day of the week, and the time within that day. So it could be like every Monday at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. But that's their time to immerse themselves in growth. And I would like you to consider, are you doing that? Are you seeing this as something that is bad, that is something lonely? Or are you going to reframe the situation and go, do you know what? This is my time where I get to shine. This is my time where I get to work on myself. This is where I get to do my taxes or any kind of logistical thing. And that's independence. You see, independence is a powerful thing. It means you have power. It means you have control. It means you have the freedom to do what you want to do. You get to carve out those dreams with other influences. You see, when people think that they're alone, it's negative. You could go, actually, I'm not relying on anyone. I don't even have to consider other people's stuff at the moment because I am independent. Or you don't sometimes get hypnotized by those other people. You know what it's like sometimes. If we're not in the healthiest place on our psychology and we enter a relationship, it is very easy to take on other people's belief systems. And if you don't believe me, just think about growing up. You've taken on so many belief systems through society, through say maybe even religion or spiritual or the news or social media, our parents, our children, all of those things. We are assuming those identity mindsets of how we see the world and how we see ourselves. But if you are focusing on your own self, you do not get, say, contaminated by other people's belief systems. That means you get to map out, you get to create, you get to embrace that moment of true power in being independent. So change the frame of reference, that it's an opportunity to grow, that it's freedom, it is exciting. It can be hard in the beginning, of course. Totally understand that, because everything that you do that is new is pretty hard. Why? Because you've never done it before. It's like learning to drive a car the first time. I'm going to probably guess you weren't very good at it because you've never done it before. But after a while, it becomes easier and easier. So as we begin to change the reference of what being independent is, from lonely to doing it only by yourself, which can have like that negativity, now you go, wow, this is where I get to carve out my own space, my own time, where I get to think about my own beliefs, how I get to transform them, how I get to come up with my own dreams, how I can develop my psychology, my inner beliefs about who I am as a person, where I get to learn new skills by doing things by myself. To me, that is truly, truly exciting. It doesn't have to be loneliness. Once again, I see it as being sacred in time to focus upon yourself. It's very, very rare that we ever do that. Wherever you're in a relationship, wherever you're living in a family situation, wherever you're living life alone, We don't think about it as a sacred thing. We don't take our own well-being as a sacred thing. We're usually relying on other people or helping people, people-pleasing, all of those things. We have all these different roles. Being a father, being a mother, being a sibling, being a boss, being an employee. There's so many roles that we have. But in times of being, say, single or just doing life alone, you get to focus on you. Even once again, I'm going to kind of put our focus back into relationship as well. Carve out that time so you can focus on you. When you focus on you and you start to become more independent and you start to go, look, this is my time where I get to focus and take a check-in on who I am and where I want to be, how can that not be exciting? That is the most amazing thing that we can do. Don't you agree? But if you were to be able to change that frame of reference, carve out that bit of time if you are in a relationship, or if you are independent right now, making sure you have time out to focus upon yourself, even listening to this episode, but maybe after, beginning to write out your dreams, to be able to consider what is holding you back, what help you need from other people, or what help you need from yourself. To me, that is growth. And that comes from you, whether independent or whether in a relationship. It is still on you to see that as an exciting thing, where you get to explore your own mind, you get to explore your own stories that maybe you've been telling yourself which aren't really true, those old habits and those old conditioning. You get to decipher on what you want out of life, where you can begin to experience the type of things that you want to. So see it as a journey, see it as a time that you get to grow, where you get to thrive in this time. After a while, some people might be going, I wish I had more time to just do that. Not that we should get out of relationships if we're in a loving one, but sometimes we may miss that in the future if we choose to be in a relationship. So use it as an opportunity to thrive. An opportunity to see it as a challenge, where you get to explore the inside world of you, the outside world, those challenges, those old problems that you now see as exciting to grow, to remember to be gentle upon yourself, because everything that you've learned was once new. But as you take it bit by bit, having the right time to learn, to adapt, it will be easy. It's just like you're collecting these life experiences of the things that you want to do, have to do in some cases, but then once it becomes a habit, it will then start to feel natural. You see, in order to get your unconscious mind to assume a skill, you've got to do it X amount of times. It's got to get into your neurology. It's got to have those associations and those habits. So that new thing coming your way will actually be something which will be almost hardwired into your system soon, once you start to keep on doing what you want to be doing and doing the things even if you don't want to do them because they're new and hard. Soon it will become easy. But the main takeaway I want you to get from this, in a relationship or out of relationship and doing life alone, which can be very, very independently awesome, is to carve out time to focus upon yourself, to reflect on who you are and where you want to be. What is the missing gap? Who do you need to be to become the person or to achieve a certain goal? Remember, if you've had a goal in the past, from when you thought of that goal to when you achieved it, you were two different people. Before the goal and after the goal. And if that is true, which it is, remember that you are going to grow as you keep on going for these goals and dreams. You've got to become someone different. And the way that you become different is by taking a look at what is really happening. I always say to meet the issue where it lives, which is the unconscious mind. So as you do the deep work and reflect upon where you are and where you want to be, you get to embrace that independence. You get to see it as an opportunity to grow. And that's the main thing I want for you to have. But you get this opportunity to show up for yourself, not for anyone else, in or out of a relationship. You get to do that piece of time or more time if you're independent right now and see it as an exciting journey. I know that to be true. And one of the reasons I know that to be true, as a personal experience, if I think of the times of the 38 years of my life, or 39 of mine, I think it's 39. Yes, 39 years of my existence. Of course, being a kid, we wipe that out. But once we get to, like, say, being a young teenager, more so in our late teens, where we may start to get in relationships, in my life, I've mainly been single. And I've had no issue with it. In fact, I've embraced every single moment. Where when you think about it, some people can be in the same relationship or get out of a relationship and need another one straight away. To me, that is very, very unhealthy, because we're trying to find people to fill up that space and time. We're not happy within ourselves. We don't feel happy being alone. So we try to get into another relationship so we don't feel alone. I have never been that way, I promise you, in that case. I know I've had my issues when it comes to blushing, anxiety, but being independent was never one of them. I embraced it and enjoyed it because it meant that I was able to develop myself, be comfortable within myself in that space, in that quietness. And I think if you see life that way, when you carve out that time for yourself, you are going to learn so much about yourself that when you're in a relationship or in a future relationship, you get to really be the authentic self. You won't feel like an imposter. You won't feel like you need other people's validation. You get to just be the authentic you. So see this as an opportunity to grow in being independent, to reflect upon yourself and really do the work that has to be done so you can truly enjoy your life in many, many ways. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Just know that you have everything you need within you. You don't need external things to make you feel happy. Sometimes we need external help, of course. And as always, if you feel like you're an imposter, you don't feel worthy, deserving, or enough, or you wake up every day with that dread and that anxiety going to work or being a boss or some kind of position where you've got to show up, well, if that's you and you're ready to give it all up, to let go of all your issues, to achieve your goals and dreams, where it be financially, where it be career, maybe it is relationship, but you really want to let it go in every single way, every doubt, every fear, and absolutely the hidden root cause, the unconscious cause, which lets go of all symptoms, you can go to josephclough.info/talk. Now, when you go to josephclough.info/talk, you'll see a little schedule there. You get to book a time. On that calendar, you'll then fill out a quick application. Just gives us more information. Then you attend your one-to-one Zoom call with us, and we'll get clear on exactly what you want to let go of, where you want to be, what's getting in the way, and come up with a fully customized solution for you. Once again, there is an investment to this. This is world class. This will transform your life like you've never experienced before. It'll be the one thing that does the everything, and that's at josephclough.info/talk. But with that, my friends, whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you desire, I know you have everything you need to make that a reality. I've had my issues and I've overcame them, and it's all about being decisive on who you want to be and start to take the massive action to make it a reality. No problem's too big. There's no conflict we've never seen before. We just want to make the changes with you. Whether you just enjoy the free work or the app or anything like that, or if you want to apply to work with us, I just want you to shine. I want you to grow, because I honestly, I believe in you so much. Even if we've never met, I just know there's something inside of you waiting to break free. And once that happens, I believe life will never be the same again. So with that, I'll speak to you on a future episode. And this was broadcasted live on YouTube, so I'm going to speak to everyone after the break, after this small little outro, and then we'll go from there. Many thanks and goodbye. Okay, everyone, welcome back. I know I didn't do a little outro there, because we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to keep a little bit of a chat on the replay, just so so everyone knows what they're missing by not attending live. So let's switch up the music for a little bit. So we're going to leave this on the outro, like I said, so you people listening on the replay will get to know how cool everyone is in the community. So I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. So I'm going to bring this one up. First of all, Joe, saying it's your birthday tomorrow, you get one of those. You get one of those. Happy birthday for tomorrow, my friend. And you said, likely to be alone. Then I thought about it, and I'm actually my best company. I love my alone time. I've got this. So true. As you know, as you were listening to the episode, it's a perfect opportunity, right? It's an opportunity where you get to focus on yourself. Oh my goodness, how can that ever be a bad thing? It's an opportunity. You're more than welcome, Jennifer. Welcome to the stream. And thank you, Liz, saying this is also true when we were going live right there. Joe said, great podcast. Thank you for doing this while you're feeling a bit off. And if you're listening to this, yeah, I feel a little bit kind of cold and shaky. I kind of tripped up a few times trying to do mathematics in my head while I'm trying to talk as well. Threw me off a little bit. And I will take some time for myself today. Thank you, my friend. You have a most wonderful birthday tomorrow. Leah said, that was amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. You are more than welcome. And yes, this was a topic from Leah, or suggested by Leah, that we did today. Just trying to think. Yeah, so if you have suggestions, we can always add those to the podcast. But yeah, great subject. It is a really good subject. So I would have never thought about doing that subject. And whether you're in a relationship or not, it's so vitally important. So when I've been in a relationship, going out by myself once per week was so awesome. Gives the other person as well some time to themselves. Hey Caroline, great to have you here. We finished the podcast episode, but it will be on the replay. But welcome, my friend, to the post show. Judith said, I needed to hear that. Awesome. MZ really said, I love this, Joseph. Thank you. You are more than welcome. Rosella said, thanks. Just what I needed to hear. Awesome. Happy Halloween, Joseph from Leeds. Well, happy Halloween to you, my friend. Which would be midnight right now, so technically, no more Halloween, right? That's right? Liz says, I love being single. Done it for 36 years. Yeah, I think being single is amazing. Like I said on the episode, I've been single more years, I would say, than I have been in a relationship, even if you minus like the young years. And I've embraced it. Sometimes I think, maybe I don't want a relationship. Because it feels so good being independent. Not that I'd rule anything out in the future, but right now I feel good. MZ really says happy birthday to Joe. So if you're still here, Joe, I think you had to go, but once again, happy birthday. Sarah said, thanks, Jared. That was an awesome and yes, a great topic, Leah. Ah, thank you, Rosella. Exactly. Our little community. We need a bigger one, which will grow, of course, because remember when I first started? Oh, it is 11 here. Sorry, yeah, the times changed, didn't they? The times changed. It didn't change in America where I am. So yes, only 11 here. Sorry, 11 where you are. Where you should start at 11. So we start at 10 in the United Kingdom. Ah, you are still here. Yes. Celebrations to you, my friend. Happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. In an hour and in 58 minutes. Just see if this comment comes through. By the way, there's like a 30-second delay from when I get your comment, just so you're aware. It's just like what do they call it? Like latency. So this was a comment. I got my screen of YouTube here and the comments right up here as well. Saying, great topic. Love being single and having the freedom to work myself. Love my independence. There we go. I believe that to be true. I know that for myself. I mean, once again, it's not bad being in a relationship, but if you are single, see it as an opportunity, right? That's the main theme here. See it as an opportunity, not as a limiting thing. Okay, I'm going to close off this for a little bit. So I'm going to put this up. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that crazy cool stuff. And that means we get to hang out. So I'm going to do this little outro, but then I'll speak to you in a couple of seconds as well. So just bear with me. Okay, that was just for the edit. So because it's got that kind of, my assistant knows where to edit out the ending. But now, on the replay, we've got this little 5-minute thing of us connecting, which will hopefully bring more people in. That was Kevin Michael Reed's idea, so appreciate that from him. He's working all day today. Yes, and that's the thing. Once we focus on ourselves, we can focus on finding the right person, right? So many people go into relationships when they're not their best self, and that's not the best thing to do, in my opinion. I mean, can you still get help? Of course you can. Like, a lot of my clients are in relationships and marriages, and they have the willingness to invest upon themselves to make that change. But so it's not to exclude that, but if you are independent, it's a perfect time. Yes, and good evening to you, my friend. So we were just mixing things up on the replay. So did you all see that little 30-40 second ad of my app? And if you just let me know, and I'll explain why I did that. Just so I know that it all was okay. I quickly made it in like 10 minutes, rapidly before the live stream. Before that though, Joe says, wow, Joseph, that was awesome. Thank you so much for everything. You are more than welcome, my friend. So pleased you enjoyed it. Inspired by Leah, which I would not have thought of. Okay, you saw it, perfect. So I'll explain why we're doing that. So, to be very transparent with you, we do need to grow, and we do also need the to grow, like, just financially and abundantly, because it does take me a ton of time. It takes me, we discussed this, but probably like 7 hours at least a week to do the live streams, because excuse me, There's like the hour of me talking. Then there's all the preparation, getting everything all set up, thinking and creating the ideas, the thumbnails, the planning, the scheduling, the editing afterwards. All of those things takes about 7 hours or so of my personal time where I could be actually working with my clients and so on. So the reason being is that little clip there, we'll probably keep that in, but I'm going to place a YouTube ad at that point. So I do a little bit of an intro to get people like wanting to listen, then put the ad in for like 30 seconds, and then we get into the content. And for the podcast, at that point, I'll manually add a podcast ad, and that just means we can kind of like reinvest into the show. Because it does take time, and technically takes me money to do all that stuff. So does that make sense to you as to why we've got to have those ads on? I can't do it all for free. I mean, at the moment it's an expense, let's put it that way. Because you've got all the storage, you've got time expense and physical logistical expenses. But that little, once again, that little break there is going to be where a little ad placement's going to be. And I don't get to choose the ads. They're like, I can auto add them, but I never know what they are. So it could be about anything. Someone actually wrote a review. I actually saw that they deleted the review though. I think they discovered why. Let's see, I'm going to just type in my podcast. Joseph Clough. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, I think they deleted it. Oh no, they didn't. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll probably just read it out. How can anyone even get through an episode when the first ad you hear is how stupid you are based on your political beliefs? That's all I needed to hear to understand this podcast. Has to be a complete joke. And where are all the other reviews? I can't wait to expose this. They want to expose me. So I can't reply to YouTube, podcast ads, reviews. I don't get to choose the ads. And usually it's based on the person's profile, I'm sure. You know how people follow us these days on ads. But they want to expose me. But I think most people, that's why they haven't left those weird reviews like that, because they kind of know it's just an ad. Like, I don't get to choose the ad. And it's more on their buyer profile. But what we're going to do is I'm going to stop the fast ads and then just put it after that little hook in the beginning so people feel a little bit better about it. But going back, I'm an only child, so I like a lot of time to myself, which has been an issue in relationships, and balance is tough for me, honestly. It can be, right? And that's where like expressing boundaries and so on is important, like what's important to you. Thank you, Judith, for understanding. And Rosaline saying those ads make total sense. Awesome. I think ads are completely understandable. We appreciate what you do, and you're reaching the worldwide. Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Thank you. No, they just don't know. They don't know. That's what it is. They just don't know. They think the ad I personally agree or endorse and chose for that person. That's what it is. But I have no idea what the ad, so if I play the ad for me, it could talk about anything. It could be political, it could be for, like, I've heard one for the Padres down the road, the baseball team, because it's like geographical ads, so it could be locational based on where you're listening. So you'll get different ads than me, but that person thought I personally put that ad up because I agree with it. But I have no idea what ad it is. But feel free to leave a review on the podcast as well, so we can correct that one. I don't want to be exposed for being my political beliefs, which I never talk about my politics. I never really talk about religion or anything like that. I appreciate all of you and I appreciate all your political beliefs, all your religious beliefs. Like, it's none of my business. Really is none of my business. I want to see people, not the other stuff. That's true as well. That is true. Well, thank you. I've been on podcasts where it's a funny comment I'll get to in a minute. Just popped up. What was I gonna say? I don't know what I was gonna say now. Joe, you threw me off right there. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Some podcasts I listen to have 5 minutes of ads before they get into content. So I only do 60 seconds. That's all. I might do 90, I might go crazy in the future, but 60 seconds is fine. And I don't put them on any of the outro of the night sleep ones, of course. Yeah, they probably do, right? Hopefully they find someone else that they enjoy. There's what I was laughing at. Joe, why are you sending me adverts for ED pills, Joseph? I told you I don't get to choose, my friend. Where do I need to go to review? So, you, if you got Android or, I know you got an iPad, so if you go to, see, that's how much I know about you guys. I know what kind of devices you use. So Sarah, you've told me you've got an iPad. So I guess you just go to the podcast app. Okay, you go to just open up the podcast app. Then you search my name. Right there. You click into it. You scroll down. You click onto the reviews. Yeah. And then it says write a review. You can hit 5 stars too, but then you just write a review. And that's how you do it. Hopefully we can correct that person. That was funny when I get annoyed with it. Not annoyed, but I don't like, let's say I don't like the fact that that review decreases my ratings. Thankfully I got mainly 5 stars anyway. So that's the most annoying thing is, and also that they don't understand about advertising. When you go on Facebook, they're targeting you with ads. You walk out on the street and you see billboards. When you see a truck on a road, it will usually have the company name. Every website, there's an ad. It is just reality. And usually those ads are based on your buying experiences, or if we're conspiratorial, if that's the word, they're listening to us. Which I've had some weird ones like that. Maureen says, I appreciate the fact that you are here offering all your knowledge to these podcasts because you care so much about helping others. So thank you for that, because the ads are important. Yeah, well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do honestly try to take the time. I mean, I've done 758 episodes now. Which roughly half out. Oh, excuse me. Sorry to be rude. I was almost yawned there. But 30 minutes each at least. That's quite a lot of hours. Then and all the prep, editing, and then paying for, like I said, the storage. That's not for free. So thank you. I do know you. And even though Leah is on Android, we do forgive her for being an Android user. I'm only joking. Some people are just die-hard Apple users. And I have to say I'm one of those people because I've got the phone, the Apple Studio. I haven't had a PC for years, and I've never owned an. I say that I do own an Android, but it's for testing. There we go, right? I've heard some funny stories, like people complaining, like, why are you showing me this ad? And it's like, you've obviously searched for something like this before. And it was something that they were very embarrassed with. Thank you. Oh my goodness, we've been streaming. I've been talking for 1 hour and 20 minutes almost. 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I thought this would be a shorter one. But we're just chatting away. Just chatting away. But be sure to subscribe to YouTube as well while you're here, because we are now 43 people away to the big 17,000 subscribers. 43 people. 43 people. And that'll be fun. I think we'll get it by next week. I think we'll get it next week. Once again, I'm not here Friday like I usually am because I'm away at an event. I'm investing in myself to grow my mind more. Ah, you're both. That means you're back in the group again. You're back in the group. We won't judge you now for being only Android. Which I'm joking. Thank you, Maureen. Yeah, almost 17,000 subscribers. I'm looking forward to the day when it's 100,000. But that may take a few more pieces of time together. Found the podcast, but not where to do it. So, if you found the podcast, you'll see that, right? You see that. Then you scroll down through like maybe 10 episodes, and then you'll see that. Then you scroll down a little bit more, and then you'll see right there. See the little write a review? That's where you go. Have to go out and hang out your washing. Do that in England as well. I'm gonna have to do that. Not in haven't done that in America since I've been here. But happy birthday for you tomorrow, my friend. Have a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Uh-oh. Now MZ really might have to go. I do have a Samsung as well. I don't know what it is. It's like something 19 or a 20. As I don't have a card in it. It's just for testing the Android app when I have to do an update. Never would I ever think about that. Definitely not. I thank you for that, but I definitely definitely not see myself as a stand-up comedian, that's for sure. But I appreciate the good timing and cadence, my friend. Yeah, I would never do that. I wouldn't want to do it, but I really don't think I'll be very good at it either. Yeah, me too. Apple Studio for the win. Awesome. Well, thank you for leaving that review. Appreciate you. You have an Oppo. Love the camera on it. I don't know what an Oppo is. These two cameras I'm using, this one is the Sony 60-100. This one's not as good, but it's a 50-100. That's what I'll be upgrading next, I think. It's not as clean as a 61, but it's a good streaming camera. Okay, my friends. It's time for me to go. But thank you all for being here. I will be here on Wednesday for the hypnosis session. I'll be getting Mr. Sebastian soon. So you'll see him probably on camera. Oh, thank you. You have a great evening yourself, dear. Great to have you back here. Becoming a wonderful regular as well. Always nice to see the familiar faces. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. A little bit funny. I think I just try to be a bit more lighthearted than I used to. Now you get more comfortable being yourself. Like I'll do the streams, but then I try to just be more natural as well. Not that I'm not natural. You know what I mean. Awesome, Leah. Well, great subject. Thank you for requesting it or suggesting it. And you're more than welcome, Maureen. Great to have you here back once again as well. Okay, my friends, you have the most wonderful rest of your day. Now, this next screen I'm going to be showing may have the wrong time, but I think the time zone will change for me next week to make it 11 p.m. in England again, I think. But thank you all for being here. I will speak to you all on Wednesday. Let's have a good hypnotic Wednesday session. That'll be fun. So many thanks and goodbye.